Hello, everybody. We want to welcome you to African Beat.
and Caribbean Heat Podcast.
It's your boy Obadolas, aka Dollar Man.
And I am Queen Tia. Welcome back to our podcast.
Yes, so we're delighted to get you guys back, and we're here again, and we thank God for the gift of life.
Yes.
Yeah. So how was your week?
My week was interesting. I had an episode that happened a couple days ago. Unfortunately, my car got broken into.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. So like it
Crazy.
I'm grateful that I was able to get everything taken care of, but like it was disheartening to see, you know, your vehicle's been violated.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I didn't get away with anything because I didn't keep anything of value in my car, but just the
Wow.
inconvenience of like having to, contact the insurance company and just like, getting the window fixed and all this other stuff. But, I'm grateful that's all been taken care of. But outside of that, like my week was fine. How about
Yeah.
yours?
Yeah, well, it was good. The weather's getting cold,
Oh
so
yeah.
I'm like in my mood now, ain't happy
I
going outside because when it gets cold, I don't even want to go out.
know, going to
Just
hibernation.
yeah, just want to stay inside and
Yeah.
go under the sheet and warm up. You know? Crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying my hardest to not turn on
The heat.
the heat. Yeah. I'm trying to see how long I can go. So
Yeah, crazy.
just to give y'all some reference, yesterday it was beautiful. It was sunny. It was like maybe what in the 70s or something. Yeah, and then this morning you wake up, the temperature drops to the 40s, and that's Fahrenheit. So yeah, it was definitely a shock. Um, being able to see your breath when you when you go outside and you're talking or whatever. But
Crazy.
we're in fall. It's October, so this is about when it starts to get cold. So we just
This is the time I want to move to Florida.
yeah, I want to get
You
out of
know,
here.
like, if I have money, I move to Florida.
I hear
It's
you.
crazy,
I
bro.
hear you. I would too. I would definitely move to a warmer climate.
Yeah.
And I think they call that snowbird is what they call
Snowbird.
that. So like when people retire
Yeah.
and they live like in the north or in the colder months, during the winter months they go south to like Florida or a place that has a little warmer,
Texas,
nicer
yeah.
weather. Yeah, and then when it's really really hot down there, they'll come back up
here, yeah.
this way. Yeah, and spend
Yeah.
like the summer into the fall months. So
So those people gotta have money to do that.
yeah,
'Cause
for sure.
it's a lot of moving.
It is. You're managing two households, like if you're having to pay like a mortgage or
Yeah.
whatever in two states and just all of that stuff. Yeah, but I would probably rent out my place. Like if
Yeah.
I was up here for 6 months and I had a place in Florida, I'd probably rent it out and make some money. Yeah.
Airbnb and stuff.
Yeah,
Money.
exactly.
Makes
Exactly.
sense.
Because there's families that are traveling and,
Yeah.
vacations and stuff like that. So I probably would do something like that. So
That's true. It makes sense.
mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
the weather is something.
I hear
That's why
you.
you miss Africa. You just want to go home because we don't have like crazy cold like here.
Yeah, same
Like,
thing in the Caribbean too.
it's really hot. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, same thing. Like it's hot year round. Um, it's obviously hotter in the summer months, but like around like this time of the year, it starts to kind of taper off a little bit. We're at the end of hurricane season, so it's still active. There's still storms kind of like brewing out in the tropics, but um,
I get tornadoes and like earthquakes.
so they did report an earthquake a couple years ago. I think in St. Croix, but typically it's more so like hurricanes that could cause a tsunami and stuff like that. So when you're on the island, you're surrounded by water. That's just the likelihood whenever there's a tropical storm that it could, flood the island and stuff like that. But yeah, yeah.
Water is
So
something.
I know water is powerful.
Yeah.
It's still, but it's also powerful too.
That's true.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about long distance relationship
Okay.
and marriage and family.
Okay.
It's a combination of all.
Of all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like um, we have a lot like of Africans
Mm-hmm.
that live in the Western world and they have a wife
Mm-hmm.
or girlfriend
Yeah.
and kids
Yeah.
in Africa,
Correct.
and they visit them like every year or
Mm-hmm.
every 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
and they work here and they provide for them there.
Yeah.
And there's challenges and there's benefits to that because um the origin of migration is like it used to be they used to force us to come here, like our
Okay.
ancestors in
Mhm.
slavery,
Mhm.
and then after slavery end, we want to come, they make it hard for us to come.
Oh
You
goodness.
know, so we struggle. Some of us sell our land, some of us sell everything we have,
Mhm.
some of us borrow money, and the family has to raise money, and you come to Western world and start life over again,
Yeah.
to hustle, work hard, and try to build that,
Mhm.
you know. And then the generation of now is different from the generation of like 60 years ago.
Sure.
The generation of 60 years ago was when they come here, they will stay here like 3, 4, 5 years. They
Mhm.
will like get their papers and stuff,
Mhm.
and then marry back home or have a
Okay.
wife and bring them here.
Yeah.
And they're realizing that it's not working, like having your family here, because the kids don't grow up in African culture and African mentality, and they don't visit home
Okay.
because they he used to here and they believe their home is here.
Okay.
And most of us Africans, when we retire, like you said, Florida, we go
Mhm.
home.
Want to go home? Yeah.
Most of the males,
Mm.
females, in my own way, I feel like females, wherever they feel comfortable, that's their home.
Mhm.
But males, even if they come from the slum or the ghetto, or
Mhm.
they
Mhm.
always go back to that.
Sure.
And that's how males are kingsmen and um, king's custodian of the community, right?
Okay.
So a lot of our brothers then, or our uncles or our fathers did that.
Mhm.
They brought the family here, and now they're old,
Mhm.
in their 60s. They go home, the kids don't want to come,
Okay.
and they have investment because when our people come to America or Western world, they have 2, 3 jobs. They work like crazy.
Mhm.
They live a low life, drive the lowest car, live the lowest, so that they
Yeah.
can have enough money to be able to build a hotel, estate, or whatever back home, right?
Okay.
So when they do that, they don't have anybody to inherit it because their kids are not gonna come home.
Mm.
So now they are 60 or 70 years old. You have 3, 4 kids in the Western world.
Mhm.
None of them wants to come home.
Sure.
You're home in retirement, and they ask you to come to America or whatever, right? And then that's where you realize like life is hard. You have
Mhm.
nobody. Your wife don't
Yeah.
even want to come. Wife is here, like all my kids are here. I'm,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be right here.
Sure. With the
And
kids. Yeah.
then you are home in Africa, no wife to take care of you, no kids to take care of you, and then your families are asking you to marry another woman at 67 and start over again.
Jeez.
It's gonna be high. And then you're looking at your investments that you have made, right?
Mhm.
Your family are fighting over that investment, praying for you to die so that they
Oh,
can
jeez.
share it and
Not
languish it.
praying for you to die.
Yeah, people are. They have some people like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they're praying for that, and they're praying for you to languish so that they can languish your hurt on suffer for 30
Mhm.
years or 40 years or 50 years, right? So this new generation are realizing that, right? So now this new generation are now doing. They come here, they stabilize here, and they have their wife or girlfriend back home. Not all, some mix balances, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So have their wife home and they're here and they make sure the wife is good and the kids are good. When the kids like get to the age of 19 or 20, right? They're an adult, they have learned the culture, they know everything. They can come here and work hard, and then by then the man is retired, right? And then he goes home, and that achieves the goal of having somebody to inherit that, and the kids
Mhm.
will come home often and even want to invest
Mhm.
home because that's where they grew up.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of that now. And the funny part is that America is becoming that also because you have a lot of guys, because of the dating situation, you have a lot of guys they call the passport bros.
Mhm.
Those bros go outside the country, they go to Africa, they go to South Africa, they go to Cuba, they go to Asia, and they go there and they meet women and they
Mhm.
marry those women. The woman
Mhm.
stays there, and they come to America and work, right?
Mhm.
And they visit those women like maybe every 4 months, every 6 months,
Mhm.
and the woman have kids, and he makes sure that she's living very comfortable with the kids
Mhm.
because of the exchange rate, right?
Sure.
So it is becoming a new trend to achieve the kingship of a man, know that he has his lineage, he has his home. He's producing a new generation of his lineage that's going to bring value to him and his mentality and culture. So that's where that comes along, right? So yeah, so a lot of my brothers are understanding that and they're doing that. So that's my part of long distance relations. What about you?
Well, you definitely said a whole lot. um, I think that's interesting. I guess dynamic when it comes to long distance relationship. From that perspective, um, I'm curious to know. And so, before I even ask that question, my idea when I think of long distance relationships um, are two individuals who don't live near each other.
Mhm.
Um, they live like in different cities, different states, different countries, and they've met through some means, whether it be you know through social media or the internet, or maybe they grew up together so they know each other, but they just happen to be living in different places. And because they have a like and a love for each other, they want to, you know, be in a relationship. So they decide to do that, but, being in long distance. So um, I would definitely say that being in a long distance relationship um, has its perks, it has its
Mhm.
positive, it has also a lot of challenges too. So, so like if you're the kind of person that enjoys your own space,
Mhm.
um, and not feeling like an obligation to see someone multiple times a week or spend time with people or someone that you're dating, then being in a long distance relationship would probably be a good thing for that person. But if you're the kind of individual that needs to have the person that you're dating be around you 24/7, then a long distance would not probably work
Yeah.
for you. Long term, I mean, if it's just something kind of in the interim until
Mhm.
that we're going to be reunified and or excuse me, reunited, and then there will no longer be a long distance relationship. You'll just be in a relationship,
Mhm.
then that's fine. Um, but from what you explained and what I understood is, typically, you know, African men will decide to, leave their home country and go away. It can
Mhm.
be to Western world, like they can go to Europe, they can go to Canada, they can come to the United States. And in a lot of those instances,
Mhm.
those men may already be married to someone back home and have a family back home, and come to the States to be able to make money, because you see, like with the exchange
Yeah.
rate, how the money would transfer
Exchange.
over, yeah, to your home country. It means more for the family.
Mhm.
So I can understand that perspective. So it's a sacrifice,
Yeah.
because you're sacrificing not seeing your family for an extended amount of time. Husband and wife, you're kind of sacrificing your relationship from the standpoint of like you're not getting to see your spouse and spend time with your spouse. So you're having to develop a lot of trust
Yeah.
around, the dynamic of the relationship while the other spouse is out of the home. So, I think from like an American perspective, or from a woman who has met people, met men that um, have a family, from their home country. I think the challenge that a lot of women may run into in those dynamics is that the man is not always forthcoming with that information. Like he
Mhm.
doesn't tell her that he's married and has children back home, because the idea is if you tell the woman that, then she's most likely not going to want to deal with you because
Mhm.
um, you know, you have obligations that you need to take care of. So I'm not sure if you can speak to that, or if you have knowledge of, or maybe kind of some idea as to why, some women, in Europe or in Canada or in the United States, if they were to meet a man, we're going to use Africa, obviously, because you're from Africa. So that's really the only perspective you can speak from.
Mhm.
Like, why, in some cases, would some men opt not to tell, a woman um, in the country that they're now living in that they are married and they have a family back home?
Um, I mean, some men tell you that because like it's like you, it's like telling somebody you have family back home and you're taking care of, you have kids.
Hmm.
Just like you meet somebody here, they have 3 or 4 baby mamas, and that let you know they have, you know, baby mamas, right?
But a wife is different than a
I,
baby
I'm
mom.
coming, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, they let you know they have baby mamas and they're their family, right?
Okay.
So back home, you have wives, you have women that have your kids that you haven't done the traditional rites and stuff to.
Okay.
Yeah. So and African, we are allowed to marry as many wives as we can, right? So when they come here, it's his choice to say it or not to say it. You know, so I'm not gonna say that he shouldn't say or she say it, but I mean, everybody's different on what they say to people or how it portrays.
Isn't that
You know,
misleading though?
it could be
It
misleading.
is. It's not. Could be. It is misleading.
It could be
Like
misleading. It might not be
it
misleading. It
is
depends.
misleading if
It depends on his situation.
it no. If he is married,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be traditional, whatever the culture deems to be appropriate for their people, if this individual in the sight of God and
Mm-hmm.
their culture, they're married, that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So why not if they're going to be dating someone or wanting to date,
Yeah.
even if that's the agreement between him and his wife knows like he's gonna be a man, he's gonna do what men do
Mm-hmm.
and just run and play, right? So if she's okay with him running and playing, you know, and now he's wanting to like run and play here
Mm-hmm.
in this new territory, then why not tell the woman that I do have a family back home and allow her the opportunity to decide if she wants to still
Mm-hmm.
engage with you, knowing that you have your situation, back home.
Yeah. And that's why I say everybody's different. Some people sell it, some people don't. I mean, everybody's situation is different.
But you're not answering the question. You're just telling me everybody's situation is different. So like,
There's no direct answer to that. That's why I say, why you ask me why don't they tell the woman
mm-hmm.
they're married? That's what I'm saying.
Can I?
It's the same way of a guy not telling he has a girlfriend here, and you and him and sleep together and stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why I said, in a good way, he should tell you if he has family back home and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But some people don't say it because of different reasons.
The reason why
Yeah.
they don't say it is because if they were to be honest
Mm-hmm.
and tell the woman
Mm-hmm.
that they have a family back home, a wife and children, there's a high probability that she will be like, you know what, it was nice to meet you, and she will go on her merry way, and then you would not be able to have your way with her. And the reason why I say that is
Mm-hmm.
because I have experienced it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking from a place of experience,
Mm-hmm.
and I know for a fact
Mm-hmm.
other women who have engaged men that are not from this part of the world,
Yeah.
that were not honest about what they had going on back home, for the distinct reason because they knew if they were honest that those women would not entertain them.
Entertainer.
Yeah. And that's
Uh-uh.
fine, and that could be one thing. That's just, that's my lived experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's my perspective. There may be others, but majority of the time it's because if you're not going to be honest, um, if you are honest with them, most likely you're not going to
Mm-hmm.
get what you want.
What?
And
Yeah. When it comes to dating,
mhm,
I mean, not everybody's honest.
mhm,
Even the women, because
mhm,
you can date a woman and her ass is not real.
yeah,
It's a Brazilian butt. She ain't gonna tell you that's a fake ass
sure,
or that's a fake breast. You
okay.
know what I mean? And
That's interesting that you would make that
no,
comparison.
no. I'm saying what my point is. Everybody like dating.
Mhm, mhm.
The two genders sometimes are not. They don't say the reality to themselves,
Yeah.
right? Because for me, like personally, if I'm
Mhm,
dating a girl
mhm,
and she has a breast implant,
mhm.
I wouldn't want to like wife her
Like, how would you know she has
because,
breast implants?
like for example, you dating her, right? And
Mhm.
then later on, she tells you that,
Oh,
oh,
okay, okay.
I have,
So she tells
because
you.
that's how you find out he was married, right?
Mhm,
He didn't tell you he was married until you guys start going deep and dating,
mhm.
and then he's like, listen, man,
No, I found out on my own. He never told me.
Okay,
I
fine.
found out on my own, and then
Yeah,
he had to come clean and be honest. So
yeah,
it's like, why did you just be honest in the
but he
beginning?
could. Some people not even be honest with you. They say like, "Hey, nah, that's a lie," or they drag it.
Hmm.
Where is your word against his word?
Well, if I
Yeah.
have proof, how can
I
you
mean,
argue the
you can have proof, but people
proof?
can change. The only proof you can have if you went home and
It.
but if it's like something maybe you saw on the internet
Hmm.
or something you saw
Hmm.
somewhere, that can be debated on.
I mean, of course, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day, he came
yeah.
clean because I
He
had.
already got far. He already
So,
went
but then
gone
why
far.
even? So I think so. So let's try to get back to the original premise here because that is a dynamic in long distance relationships
Mm-hmm.
from the perspective of like leaving your family in your home country and dating abroad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's actually start talking about um, dating and
Mm-hmm.
why um, from your perspective, like why do you think or feel that there's an uptick in a lot of like long distance type of dating or long distance relationships within like and to be honest, like long distance relationships, it's been around for a very long
Mm-hmm.
time. So I mean, I remember when I first moved to the United States and like trying to get to know people, the internet was really beneficial in that there was a lot of different online communities like AOL and
Mm-hmm.
um like different chat groups and stuff like that. So it was a way for, someone like me who was new to the States and didn't really know a lot of people to like, you know, meet people in
Mm-hmm.
the area and stuff like that. So it's been around for at least 20 plus years,
Yeah.
but you're seeing more so an uptick, more recently in people who are in like full fledged
Mm-hmm.
relationships, but it's long distance. Like, so why do you feel that's the case or that we've seen an increase in that?
I would say like some people get used to living on their own or being by themselves that they can't be able to stay with a woman in one house.
Okay.
I mean, I've had a mentor back then in New York.
Mm-hmm.
His wife stayed in another city that
Okay.
was like an hour 30 minutes drive.
Yeah.
He stayed, in another city.
Mm-hmm.
So she visit him like every weekend. They
Mm-hmm.
take turns.
Mm-hmm.
She comes
Oh,
this
she comes in,
weekend,
then yeah,
and then
they
he goes that
alternate.
week. Yeah. So
Okay.
when she comes, I know it's gonna be a good day because the kitchen is gonna be popping. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's gonna make food. I'd be like, oh shit. So
Yeah.
then, so weekends just me in the apartment, right? I
Mm-hmm.
know he's over there,
Sure.
and they've been doing it for years, and they're married and they love each other,
And that
and
works for
it
them.
works for them,
Mm-hmm.
and it work, and because when they see each other, they only got 3 days, because Monday everybody starts work.
Yeah.
So
So,
if she comes on Friday evening, they
mhm.
got Friday, Saturday, and she's
And then he
going
lives
back
on
Sunday.
Sunday.
So what are
Mm-hmm.
they fighting against?
Sure.
I mean, they only got so they're gonna make it the best they can.
Yeah.
So it works out for them, and everybody's happy, and
Mm-hmm.
there's peace,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and he's been doing that for years,
Okay.
so um, sometimes long distance relationship creates a way of peace where you have your own space
Mm-hmm.
for some times,
Yeah.
and she has her own space for some time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you guys make it work according to the timing
Mm-hmm.
and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it creates a longevity of relationship
Okay.
because there's nothing to fight about because y'all don't have that much time to
Mm-hmm.
be in each other's ass or business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
a lot of people find peace at it because, like in the Western world, men are complaining about women, women are complaining about men.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes a gender fight, right,
Mm-hmm.
between male and female, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now people are fed up and they transition to going outside of the country
Okay.
to find a wife, mostly the male,
Mm-hmm.
because women's is more harder because they can get mistreated in a very bad way to life threatening as a woman, right?
Okay.
For males, men's are like hunters and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So men's they go out of the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
And know that when they exchange their dollar, it comes more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they go to those countries, get a good wife that's giving them what they really want in a woman, and they have a family and they take care of the lady,
Okay.
and then come to America or Europe or whatever they are and work and make their money. So
Mm-hmm.
here becomes where they make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they're here, they don't care about no other girls. They ain't talking to no girls. They pass you on the road. They even looking at you because they focus making their money, making sure the bills is good.
Mm-hmm.
4 months, 3 months, 6 months, boom, go see their wife.
Yeah.
So now a lot of females here are saying like, "Where the guys are? Nobody's saying hi. Nobody's talking to me in the mall. I'm dressed. Nobody even cares. That where's the guys at? But the guys are no more interested in the ladies here.
That's
Their
not true.
mindset is out.
That's not true.
Not all the guys, so
Thank you.
some guys.
Let's be clear.
But it's a trend though. It's a trend.
Yeah.
If you can be honest here, it's a trend where there's a passport bros,
Mm-hmm.
and it's increasing day by day
Good.
where people are realizing it, like
Mm-hmm.
So um people find peace, and they have a show they call 90 Day Fiance.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some of my coworkers like, man, I want to join that 90 Day Fiance. Let me see if I can find true love
Yeah,
in
you're
Africa
right.
or
You're
Asia.
right.
Some
Mm-hmm.
of it is stage and
Mm-hmm.
act. Yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
But like people are realizing like realizing that like people are thinking that like they can find what they want outside of the country
Mm-hmm.
because people value what's not in their house. They
Mm-hmm.
value what's not in their house. You get what I'm saying? Meaning people value more of something they don't have. Meaning like this guy likes you, right? But you see him every day. You're like, I don't care about him.
Mm-hmm.
Then you see the same guy, maybe the same body, the same in another country. You're like, man, I want to see what he does. You see what I mean? The interest. Like there's an adage in my country that says, where you're not, you want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
They can tell you that there's bombs being thrown over, there's guns being flying. Like
Yeah.
I know, but I want to go there first.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's a human thing where you have, and the social media has made it possible that you can date anywhere in the world, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
People find love, people find scammers,
Yeah.
people find heartbreaks,
Mm-hmm.
people find whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're going into because people don't want to talk to each other no more.
Yeah.
You go to the mall, nobody wants to talk to the girl don't want to talk to the guy, everybody's on their phone.
Sure.
People feel more bold in talking to somebody on their phone that's miles away.
Yeah.
Compared to somebody here.
Yeah. So there's different dynamics when it comes to like long distance relationships. So like what I can think of immediately, like for example, let's say like one member of the couple is in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say like either like the husband or the wife is in the military and they are sent overseas for a tour,
Yeah.
for like I don't know, an extended amount of time. So that would be considered a long distance relationship because they're being taken out of the home because of work or some obligation that will cause a separation there. So like in those instances, people, I don't really necessarily see people, withholding that information. Like, oh, my wife is away
Yeah.
overseas in Germany for the military, or my husband is over in Kuwait, or whatever the case may be. Um, so I think it's interesting, like in a situation where like, um, you know, it's mainly guys. Like